Hello there. The former Prime Minister and now thorn in the side of Rishi Sunak is not going away anytime soon. Now, just in case you missed it, I've left a link in the descriptions box and a pinned comment below to last night's video on some of the bloopers we've recently made. Please enjoy. So Boris Johnson has decided now is the moment to put his thumb in the Sunak optic. And that leaves open the question of whether this is his first salvo in an attempt to get back into number 10. And it may be an identifier of growing rebellion on the Tory backbenches over what many are expecting to be a weak response to the EU by Sunak regarding whether Northern Ireland is part of the UK or controlled by Brussels. Is Boris scenting Brexit weakness or apathy in Sunak's approach to his negotiations with Brussels over the Northern Ireland Protocol? Does Boris think that this particular subject is that important to the public at large to give him the scope to make headway? Because that's the target he appears to have chosen, as he is warning the Prime Minister not to abandon the Northern Ireland Protocol bill currently stuck in the House of Lords. A bill that would give the government powers to drive a coach and horses through Theresa May's protocol that is doing so much damage to the United Kingdom. The bargaining chip to get a strong deal with the EU. And given that the EU Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, says that the EU and UK have made very good progress during positive discussions over updating the deal, then you know that the result is likely to be positive for Brussels. And the DUP also wants Sunak to press ahead with getting that bill enacted, and the deputy leader of the Tory European Research Group, David Jones, said it would be very hard for Tory Brexiteers to back anything that keeps the ECJ in charge in Northern Ireland. And there are warnings that any fudge on this issue would be met by a huge rebellion. Rishi must deliver a United Kingdom free of all foreign influence, or he might find himself ousted, with one Boris Johnson in the wings, ready to step back in. Now there's new noshery on the way. I'd not heard of these people before, but it transpires there are people that engage in something called sensitivity reading. Yes, sensitivity readers, who trawl through books and decide which words must be removed and how the book must be rewritten so as to not upset anyone. Well, not upset certain characteristics anyway. All just like that book, 1984, Rewriting History. And today's target is the books of Roald Dahl, the children's books of Roald Dahl. Yes, that's right. And the Australian news outlet heads the story as Charlie and the Censorship Factory. How very apt. And you can imagine how James and the Giant Peach would end up, can't you? One word being removed for being sizist, and the other in case it excites people with the thought of peachy bums. Now these sensitivity readers might think they're onto a good thing, but I would warn them that their job is already being taken over by artificial intelligence bots that have been programmed to only produce left-leaning, progressive and inclusive language. And these bots can rewrite today's newspapers at lightning speed before they're even published. All any reporter or writer will soon need to do is put the basic facts of any situation into the programme, and out will come a flowery article using all the right buzzwords and missing out the problematic ones. And as for news anchors, all you'll get is a series of woke 1980s style Max Headrooms.
Thank you. 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 And it's on with the show.
Now, if you go through the recent press, you are faced with article after article telling you how low the state of the armed forces has become, that we don't spend enough money on defence, or that the mod procurement wastes all the money they're given, that we have too few soldiers to put a functioning division of troops together, too few pilots, too few jets, too few tanks, too few warships. The list goes on. But as the war in Ukraine illustrates, there is another huge factor: the will of the people to go to any lengths to defend our green and pleasant land. Because it does not matter how many tanks, ships and planes you have if you can't fill them with patriots determined to defend their homeland. But when your youth has been informed from the cradle to university by their educators that the land they live in is a bigoted, sexist, misogynist, racist country in terminal decline, and that the only thing that matters is me, and that every other culture on the planet is far better than the one they live within, young people who have even been indoctrinated into hating the sex they were born into, then where do you find all those UK-loving patriots? Patriots willing to make that final sacrifice for the land they live in. And when patriots of the majority ethnicity do volunteer, they find they are not diverse enough to be the first choice. Not only that, they've generally not been diverse enough all their lives and been told they have a privilege that they never possessed nor ever will. And because of that privilege, they must always be at the back of the queue for everything. Do you not think that those majority ethnic young people, especially the males, won't realise they're battling against a society that actively rejects them at every selection and promotion board? And they know that if they are selected, there's probably a report in their file about why they had to be selected above others of a different ethnicity. Why would they make the ultimate sacrifice for a system that forces that on them? Successive UK governments have been, and are still, driving a massive wedge between themselves and their biggest demographic, and it will not end well. You can get away with this madness for a while during peacetime, but peacetime never lasts forever. In wartime, you not only need a copious supply of bullets and bombs, you also need patriotic set of armed forces that meet exacting and stringent requirements to get the job of defence done properly. And you don't get that by alienating the vast majority of your youth, especially the young men, from the society you might want them to die for. How are Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer going to reverse that? The answer is that they won't, because this situation is developing exactly along the lines those like the WEF would like to see it develop: the destruction of the nation state.